Okay, people. So, um, yeah, just checked out a new film that different. I mean, that's the word, right? Different. It's yeah, I don't believe I've watched something like this before. Right? It's crazy. It's crazy. And it's called um Masking Threshold. Right? It is the new film from Johannes. Oh, how do I say this? Johannes Grenzfurthner. Right, Johannes. He also co-writes with Samantha Lienhard. Um, he also produces along with Gunther Friesinger, Julian Gabat, and Jasmine Hagenduna. Cinematography is from Florian Hulfer, and the score is from Tina Grunsteddy, aka Tina 303, and Matthias Ugandupla. Oh, I have probably butchered those names. I have probably butchered those names. But people, okay. So the gist of the film is this, right? Masking Threshold combines a chamber play, a scientific protocol, an unpacking video, and a DIY YouTube channel, while suggesting endless vistas of existential pain and decay. Glimpse the world of the nameless protagonist in this esoteric tale, which is by no means for the faint of heart. And yeah, that last part, no means for the faint of heart. I mean, that really does speak volumes, because the spiral our protagonist goes on in this film does lead you to some places that will make you cringe, right? But I have to say, right, I was captivated all the way through, all the way through. I couldn't turn away, even in a few moments when I wanted to turn away. Right? It's interesting. Like, we start off, and we have a guy talking about, right, setting up his space. Oh dear, setting up his creative space, right? So we see that it looks like he's setting up for a podcast or something, but that happens, right? And then he's talking about how he has tinnitus and just the struggles, and he's trying to find a cure because it's not like normal tinnitus, right? So we get all of this, which is like, okay, it's interesting because there's stuff talked about here that I think a lot of people can definitely relate to, right? Relate to and understand, right? Understand where someone's coming from when it comes to some of these things. And I think we also get thrown into the mix, right? These quotes and philosophies that again make sense, right? So, with tinnitus, he's talking about noise and noise pollution and just all of these things. But he also says there's a quote about silence and how, you know, trying to find silence, you can never find silence. And that's so true, right? Because, you know, the amount of times when I've left the city, right? You've gone to the country or somewhere, and you notice that difference, right? You're not hearing the same hustle and bustle, right? The light pollution is different. Well, it's gone most of the time. And it'd be late at night and you could stand in the doorway, and you'd be like, yo, I can't hear anything, which is always a lie, right? Because what you're saying is, I can't hear the normal noise. But what you do hear is like crickets, maybe, or just whatever insects, or like howls hooting, and just the world noise, right? The natural world noise, should I say? Because everything is world noise, but we're hearing like the wildlife kind of speaking to you, or just the wind in the trees and just things like that. So yeah, there's never really silence. I guess if you get you know stuck in a vacuum, but even then there would be the noise of your breathing, right? The noise of your anxiety. So it is an interesting thing. And that's the thing. Throughout the film, there are these insights which do make you go, yeah, that's right. Or, huh, I never thought of that. Or, I wonder if that's true. Hmm, you know, which is super compelling, right? And the film, it unrolls with this guy. As I said, he's looking for this cure. He's looking to try and cure himself. He is a scientist, so it is all wrapped up in that scientific mindset. The look for answers, the pursuit of knowledge, right? That's what we have here. But as it goes on, whew, things get weird. Things get super weird. And it's fascinating, right? How all of this is shown to us, right? How the picture is painted. Because there's no point where it's just like, this guy is spiraling, but it's all evident, right? You can come to that conclusion with how everything is laid out to you. You know, the other interesting thing is, right, it's funny because it's kind of shot a bit like a documentary, right? When you watch a documentary about micronisms and things like that, it is kind of shot like this, right? Because we focus in a lot of times on him looking at stuff. You know? Oh my gosh, excuse me. But yeah, he's looking at stuff through, I don't know, microscopes or online and stuff like that. And he's talking and he's explaining and he's trying to get across. No, I'm trying to do this. No, this is what the thing is, right? So we get all of this. It gets laid out, and so we're viewing this, but we're not kind of having him, there. Like, was kind of seen through his eyes. It's like a point of view situation here, which again does give you that interesting kind of flavor, right? Because the focal point is different. Usually our focal point are the characters, but here it's kind of what's going on. It's the science. It's what he's trying to get across, right? Which, yeah, super interesting. And it's all basically in one location, one location, right? Now there are a few people that do kind of turn up, but not in your typical ways, right? yeah, it is just super fascinating. It really is, you know. But I do feel it worked. Like by the end of it, I was just like, wait, where's this gonna go? Like, how can this end? Right? What is the conclusion of this? Because my man has, he's gone far, right? He's gone real far. So how are we ending this, right? Where are we going? And yeah, it's an interesting tale. It's only, I think, slightly under 90 minutes, maybe like 85 minutes, 88 minutes, something like that. Right? So it's not super long. And I mean, the time frame works for the film because you're not ever thinking, ugh, can we just, the pacing was perfect. Pacing was perfect for showing this downward cycle, you know? Because because I think you can't rush these things, right? If you jump in it to it real too quick, you're gonna be like, that feels a little forced, right? But if you wait too long, you'll be like, but they kind of crammed it all at the end, right? So it's all about pacing, and they nailed the pacing. They nailed the pacing, right? Visually, you're always engaged, always engaged. Like at some point, you'd be like, I wish I wasn't as engaged. You know what I mean? This, I don't know if I needed to see that. But yo, the what would you call it? I'm not gonna say makeup, but it's not the makeup. It's the effects. Well, let's just say effects, right? Um, and the art direction. Boom. That was great because there's shit that you're looking at and you'll be like, that looks so real. I hope that's not real, right? I hope that's not real, but it looks so real, you know? Yeah, it's great. It is very interesting. I don't know any distribution details of this, but it is, yeah, it's out there, right? It's out there at festivals. It's gosh, it's at a festival right now. I feel I have that information. Yes, it's at the Cucalorus Film Festival. Cacal, Cacal, Cucalorus Film Festival, right? Um, yeah, Django's Playhouse. So it's playing there at 7:45 in the evening, Eastern time, people. Eastern time. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you're in that area, then you might want to go check it out. Because yeah, Johannes, he really does create something very unique. You know what I mean? Something very unique and engaging. I do feel like there's those films that look at people on spirals and stuff like that. Falling down is one. The Game, that Michael Douglas thing. I mean, they're two very well known, I feel, films that do this. And this, it is well. It does it so well. Does it so well, and as I said, look, in this very unique way. Now, yeah, there's more to it, but you know what I mean. It's hard because you don't want to give anything away. You don't want to give anything away, but I feel, yeah, it's a different experience, people. It's a very different experience, and it's very hard to kind of pinhole this film, right? To say, oh, it's this or oh, it's that, because it's really its own thing, right? So messed up. It's definitely messed up, but in a non right. I wouldn't say it's gore porn, right? It's not that. Definitely not that. It's a story that might not be for everyone, right? It is definitely Marmite in that terms. I mean, there's gonna be people that be like, I can't handle this. And others that will be like, yo, I'm all about it, which is good. It's not everything has to be for everyone, you know? But yeah, masking thresholds, people. Look, if it plays at a festival near you, go check it out for sure. And let's see when if I hear about a distribution or anything like that, for sure we'll let you know. All right, but yeah, if you're up for it, people, get you some masking thresholds, okay?